Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be discussing Nvidia, giving it an update from my previous video, which was released last week. Just discussing, looking at where the stock is going into earnings, which come up on Wednesday, August the 28th. So let's get into it. So right now, pre-market, you can see Nvidia's at 130.76. On Friday's close, which is the green, it closed at 129.37. If you take a look back or watch my previous video, I did clearly say that Nvidia needs to stay between this 116 to 125 level. This was my area that I had on the video. As long as it stayed within this area, I did believe that all-time highs could be taken out. So if we take a look at Nvidia stock to see how it played out right now, let's draw a quick trend line on Nvidia to see how it's trending over these last few days. So if we take a high, which took place back on June the 24th, or June the 20th, sorry, and kind of just draw a trend line straight through these peaks, you can see it's rejected off of this line right here. It rejected here, and right here it broke through. Now this is a great pattern that you see forming right here on the chart. The previous resistance, which it hit up here on the all-time high and it hit here, it broke through. But the thing is, instead of pushing all the way higher, it came back down and retested the support. This is great. When resistance breaks, resistance typically becomes support. That's why when you see a lot of these daily bars hitting this trend line, this is a great sign if you're looking for bullish momentum. Typically, stocks will consolidate, maybe go sideways for the next day or two on the video, and then if earnings do come out well after going sideways, it should go like this up. As I mentioned, I don't think Nvidia will go too much higher than this 140. What's the all-time high actually? The all-time high is 140.76. I don't think it'll go too much higher than that. Maybe we could get to the 145 area at most. So in my previous video, I explained how Nvidia could actually get up to 145, 150, 160. Is it possible? Yes. Do I think it will happen? No, but I did explain the steps that need to take place for it to get to that 150, 160. So check that video out. So now let's take a deeper look into Nvidia and see what the analysts are actually saying about the estimates. So right now I'm on Yahoo Finance. This is a website that I use to get a lot of my general information on what analysts are saying about the stock, breaking news, and just overall people's thesis opinions on it. I think it's always good to see what the market is saying, although I always think you should form your own opinion. Just before I go into detail, one thing about earnings, when you hear on the news that this company has a price target of 150, or you hear a stock report earnings and you hear that it missed on its EPS, it missed on its revenue. It didn't really miss, to be honest with you. These reports, numbers that are put out by these companies are just their opinion on how they see the economy trending, their investigation from producers, from suppliers, consumers. This is just their overall thoughts on where they think it would be. So none of this is law. So I want you to keep that in mind. When you hear these companies say they missed or they beat, it's really, did they miss or did they beat off of somebody's opinion? So looking at the actual growth of the company, its debt, its revenue, its operating income, its net income, those are more factors and statistics that you want to use to establish if this is a great company or investment. So if we're looking at analyst opinions over the last few quarters, you can see that Nvidia has beat EPS in the last 4 quarters. That's earnings per share. So if we look at the analyst recommendations, 12 companies had Nvidia as a strong buy in May. In June, 19. In July, it was 18. You can see for this August, it's clearly dipped down, which to me indicates that analysts and the market seems that Nvidia has hit its peak or it's coming close to its peak of this run over the last year and a half. The whole number was at 12 in May. You do see it's at 15 now. So this group of buy, which is in the lighter green, and strong in the darker green, has shrunk. This isn't something that you should worry about per se. Do I think Nvidia has been on an incredible run and could be slightly overvalued? Yes, but as I said, a lot of these hedge funds companies base their overall opinion on where they want the market to go. As I said, they have to make money on a consistent basis, so they're putting narratives and opinions out there to help shift the overall market towards where their positions are. If they want oil to go up, if they want industrials to go up, they want tech to go up, they want consumer discretionary to go up, they're going to be on the news saying certain stuff to influence that sector. And that's just the honest opinion on things. In my opinion, I do believe Nvidia is slightly in a hard in a rock place, what I like to say. If we look at Nvidia's total revenue, in 2022 Q3, it was making 5.93 billion. Q1 of 2023, it made 7.19. If you skip all the way to Q1 of 2024, it's at 26 billion. So Nvidia is up 5x from years ago. This is tremendous growth. A lot of this is attributed to the AI boom, how you hear a lot of companies pushing it, looking to get involved, looking to upgrade their systems. So yes, this is tremendous growth. You do not see a company go from just under 6 billion revenue, sorry, to just over 26 billion in revenue in under 2 years. That's tremendous growth. We're going to see this October quarter come up later in the year to see how it is. Realistically, this may be ahead of its pace, and why you see on the previous page why some of the analysts were slowing down its buy recommendation, because growth like this is not typical. I do believe Nvidia setting itself apart in that AI chip, specifically GPU sector, but you do want to think about if they don't complete such growth as they did in the past, how does the market react? Do people sell? Do institutions back out? Stuff like that is what you want to keep in mind, because if those things come true and Nvidia's earnings don't begin to meet what the market is expecting, you will begin to see the stocks sell off. If we take a look back at the chart, I want to clear the drawings. Nvidia's been on a great run in the last 5 years. If you look at this, this is tremendous. But let's say these earnings don't come out good, you could see Nvidia go sideways and then drop. That's very possible. And us going into 2025 with the US government cutting interest rates, that's usually a sign the economy is not in the strongest point. Once again, keep an eye out for a video, subscribe to the page. I'm going to make a video about why cutting rates is actually negative for the market. So let's say in 2025, the earnings for Nvidia continue to come out lower, or they're not meeting the expectations, or companies begin to scale back on how many chips or how much they're invested into AI. I'll be completely honest, in 2022, Nvidia dropped 70%. Anything like that could happen again, and you always want to be mindful of that. Let's just say Nvidia hit a high of 142 up here and dropped 70%, $39. Right back to here to this 2023 level. This is not something that's impossible to happen. This could very well happen. Right here, Nvidia dropped 70%. If I told you back at 2021 it was going to go all the way down to 69%, you wouldn't have believed me. So if you see something like this happen in the next year, 6 months, don't be afraid. Look at it as an opportunity to buy a generational company at a generational price. If you're able to load up Nvidia at this area, I would strongly suggest, I'm not a financial advisor, but I would suggest you dump a lot into it. You can see every time it hits this blue 200-day moving average, it bounces. It hit it right here and bounced. It hit it right here and bounced in 2019. So if you happen to see it come down to this blue area, this moving average, anywhere down here, this 40 area is where I would be loading up as much money as possible. This is the absolute floor on Nvidia long term. Could it come sometime in 2024 if something catastrophic happens? Possibly. But more likely, you're more likely to see this sometime in 2025, 2026, if it does happen. But let's keep an eye out to Nvidia's earnings. Let's see how they do. It's a great company. My biggest holding, my favorite company personally for the next 5 to 10 years. So this earnings is something definitely we're going to want to pay attention to. But once again, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I'll be back with a Nvidia update after earnings on Wednesday. So click subscribe and watch out for that video. Thanks.